Welcome to the 18th Croft graduation ceremony. My name is Will Shank, and I have the distinct privilege of serving as the Associate Director of the Croft Institute. As our graduates know, our Executive Director, Dr. Oliver Dinius, is unable to be present today for medical reasons. And his wife, Dr. Ibrahim, wrote me this morning saying he's on his way home from the hospital and is only missing the ceremony by a few hours. And he wanted me to tell you that he's very proud of you all, and he wishes you all the best. And I'm very happy to see our graduates' parents, grandparents, family, siblings, cousins, friends, and glad you're all here to celebrate them. Sometimes I think in 2018 I shouldn't have to say anything, but would you please silence your cell phones? And we won't be interrupted. So as I mentioned, this is the 18th class to graduate from the Croft Institute. And 18 may not seem like that significant of a number, but the Institute was actually in operation for 3 years before it had its first graduation ceremony. Because as you guys know, it takes a little while to finish all the requirements. And so that means that this year, going forward, is the 20th anniversary of the Croft Institute's founding. We'll officially celebrate this milestone next October, and I hope some of you will be able to come back and join us with the festivities. And so, to give you guys a little bit of perspective about how the Croft Institute has grown in those 20 years. At the first graduation ceremony, which was actually in this room, there were 5 students. 1 studied Europe and 4 Latin America. The first students to study East Asia wouldn't graduate until the next year. And the first students who studied in the Middle East actually graduated in May 2014, which is right before you guys joined our program. They had thematic concentrations back then. They were a little bit different. We had 1 global economics and business, we had 1 social cultural identity, and we had 1 who did what we call international governance. We hadn't added politics at that point. And they too did a concentration which no longer exists, which is international peace and security. Of those 5 graduates, 4 were from Mississippi and 1 was from California. Today, we have 34 students that we're celebrating, 32 of whom are sitting with us today. The other 2 officially finished their diplomas in August and December and have already moved on to the next phases of their lives. Here's the numbers for this year's class. You guys may not even know. 15 have studied Europe, 10 Latin America, 5 Middle East, and 4 East Asia. In terms of thematic concentrations, 13 international governance and politics, 12 global economics and business, 7 social and cultural identity, and 2 global health, which we just started last year. And so 16 of these graduates are from Mississippi, and 18 are from other states and other countries. And so our class of 2018 has fulfilled the vision that was at the founding of the Croft Institute, to bring together the best and the brightest in the state of Mississippi with other students from around the country and around the world. This is a class that has accomplished a lot and has continued to enhance the reputation of the Croft Institute as one of the premier programs on campus. The class includes 5 Taylor medalists, has inductees to the most prestigious honor societies, and members of Who's Who at Ole Miss. Just as importantly, the class includes students who have been leaders in community service, whether it's in student government, helping children, connecting with international students, visiting the nursing home, or speaking up for women's rights on campus. For this group of students, college was always about more than just class, even if you all kept your focus on academics and made it to this point. The graduation is often a time to think about the future, and parents of visiting high school students often ask us, what can you do with an international studies degree? Some of you parents may still be wondering that. Some of the graduates may also And the answer that I always give the incoming freshmen or their parents is, whatever you want. And sometimes that's a little broad. So let me give you some concrete information in that area. Graduates, you'll discover how much you have learned during your time at Croft once you enter the workforce or graduate school, and you will discover how well you are equipped to study or work along graduates from universities all across the country and the world. Many of our graduates write back to us and say they're working with, they're in graduate school with students from the Ivy League, from other colleges, and say, I'm better prepared than they are. Now, just to give you a sense of what our graduates do. Many of our graduates work in careers you might expect, lawyers, government service, in the intelligence community. There are also graduates who work in academia, consulting, language education, and for a wide variety of businesses and nonprofits. We have graduates who practice medicine, and some who've started working in public health, which is why we created the Global Health Concentration just a few years ago. But one thing I think is shared by all of our graduates, which is that the paths that they take always have some unexpected twists. You can see the stories of 6 of our alumni in an article that was just published as part of our 20th anniversary. And if you don't have them on your seats, they're available. You can pick them up on your way out. Let me tell you a little bit about them. One of the graduates, Chris Lamont, is actually an assistant professor of international relations in Tokyo, even though he studied abroad at Croft in Europe. We have a graduate, Daniel Booth, who is a worldwide account manager for FedEx, and his thematic concentration was international peace and security, not business. Susan Hedgeland graduated in 2009, completed the flagship program in Chinese, returned to China after graduation, and worked for several years for the American Chamber of Commerce in Shanghai. Now she's moved back to the United States and is a consultant for oncology research and development finance for Eli Lilly. We have students who've worked in politics. Cooper Reeves, class of 2010, has had a remarkable career and is currently the digital director for Senator John McCain. And Denius Polk, who graduated in 2011, studied abroad in Germany as an undergrad, returned there on a Fulbright after graduation, returned again with a special German Chancellor's Fellowship, and is dedicated to improving career training for young Mississippians based on what he learned in Germany. And one of your predecessors, whom most of you know, Elizabeth Romery, is taking the first steps of her career in the Peace Corps in Namibia. And so the stories of our alumni graduates should make you confident that you'll be able to find your path. And wherever that path takes you, and whatever you end up doing to make money, I know that you will have a rich and fulfilling life. Because some of the most important benefits of a Croft degree can't be measured in dollars. Your education is more than the knowledge you've accumulated and the skills you've acquired. It is also the experiences you've had, the perspectives you've gained, and the relationships you've formed. All of you have studied the history and the culture of other countries, and you all know that there is more than one way to see the world. All of you have had the experience of being a foreigner just for a few months, and you all know what it is like to live in a place as an outsider. But you have also overcome the barriers that separate people. You have made friendships and built relationships in other languages. And you have connected with men and women whose stories can be at the same time so different from your own, but also so similar. I want you to take those experiences and those relationships with you when you leave here, and let them influence you for the rest of your lives. As you move on, I hope you will stay connected to the Croft Institute. I hope some of you can join us at our 20th anniversary next October, and I hope you will all stay in touch in the coming years. Your journeys as Croft students, as international studies majors, are just beginning, and I look forward to seeing where they take you. Now, graduates, you would not be ready to take those next steps without the help of numerous people, many of whom are present today. And I'm going to take a few minutes to recognize them. Now, first, of course, I want to thank someone who's not here, our Executive Director, Dr. Vinias. He's brought amazing energy and enthusiasm to the Institute, and his dedication to you, to our students, is an inspiration to us all. It is an honor to work with him, and we all are wishing him the best. Next, I would like to thank the trustees of the Croft Institute, whose generosity allowed the University of Mississippi to establish our institute in 1997. Since then, the Joseph C. Bancroft Charitable and Educational Fund has contributed close to $50 million to the Croft Institute, initially for the renovation of this beautiful pre-Civil War building, and then with generous annual gifts that provide for your student scholarships, faculty salaries, the operations budget of the Institute, and many of the other special things that we offer our students. The members of the board were unable to be with us today, but I'd like to thank them in their absence. I'd like to highlight Mr. Gerald Abdallah, the guiding spirit behind the Institute since its founding, and Mr. Tom Abdallah, the current chairman of the Croft Board, who both send their greetings. Please join me in thanking them for their extraordinary generosity, their commitment, and their ongoing support. Next, I would like to introduce you to the Croft faculty, who are seated to your right. It is difficult to overstate the contribution of these professors to the success of the Croft Institute. Not only do they give lectures, seminars, advise student theses, but they also give more time and energy to mentor our students and to guide them through their undergraduate careers and beyond. It is the faculty who make the Croft Institute what it is, and who make it possible for your daughters and sons to achieve so much. As I introduce you, please stand, and audience, please hold your applause until I've named all the faculty. So, we have Dr. Joshua Howard in the Department of History and Croft Institute for International Studies. We have Dr. Kate Centeas from the Department of Sociology, Anthropology and Sociology in the Croft Institute. Dr. Sullivan Gonzalez, History and the Honors College. And we have Dr. Bob Brown, Department of Political Science. Dr. Kate Gisbin, who is our former Executive Director, also from the Department of History. Dr. Gerard Busquets, from the Department of Mathematics. All of you know from Math 371. Dr. Fredoso Gonzalez, from the Department of Economics from the Croft Institute. Dr. Alice Cooper, from the Department of Political Science. Dr. Joshua First, from the Department of History and the Croft Institute. Dr. Ian Quinney, from the Department of Modern Languages. Dr. Dylan Goldblock, from the Department of Modern Languages. Dr. Valentina Yeppery, from the Department of Modern Languages. And Dr. Marcos Mendoza, from the Department of Anthropology and Sociology. Please join me in thanking our... Next, I would like to thank the members of the Croft Institute staff who do all the daily work that makes the Institute thrive and provide such a welcoming environment for our students. We would not function on a day-to-day basis without our operations manager, Liz Duperior, manages the building and makes sure that all the big and little things are in place. She also manages our student workers, including many of you, and the student workers who are helping us here today. And I'd like to thank her especially for her work in the last couple of weeks, scheduling all the thesis defenses, all the OPIs, and the computer OPIs that we, for the first time, have had our sophomores take. We didn't realize how much work it would be to schedule them all. And so we could not keep things running without Liz. Thank you very much. I'd also like to thank Elizabeth Googe, our admissions coordinator, who has been working very hard to recruit the very best students from Mississippi and beyond to come study at Croft. Her work has paid off, And once again, we have a very impressive class ready to enter the Croft Institute in the fall. And Elizabeth has already started working with them to plan for orientation. The first orientation is only 2 weeks away. The circle of life continues. And we are very happy to have her. And also, I have to say, Liz and Elizabeth have worked extremely hard to make sure that today's ceremony has come together without any problems, and so that it would be a memorable event for you guys and for your guests. And to recognize their special efforts, we have a special gift for them, which Will has already given them. And so, congratulations. And since he's standing there, let me also thank our coordinator of alumni relations, Will Mahoney, who was sitting over there as a graduate just 1 year ago, and is the first person to serve in this position, which was created by Dr. Dinius. Will has done a great job gathering information about our alumni, connecting them to each other and to you, and helping you guys prepare for your careers. I know some of you have been in his office extensively and hopefully gotten some good advice. He has also stepped in and helped in many ways, especially in the last couple of weeks preparing for the ceremony, and he's become a valued member of our team. We wish him all the best as he starts the next phase of his career this summer. I would also like to mention Scotty Polston, our telecommunications analyst, who is responsible for installing, managing, and maintaining all of our classroom technology in our student computer lab. He stayed late last night to try to find something that would have allowed us to run our simulcast on the porch, but unfortunately we weren't able to do it. But I appreciate the effort and thank him very much. Finally, let me thank our student workers, the student workers who are graduating. Thank you. The underclass student workers who are helping us today, and the ceremony and all of our events and our operations throughout the year wouldn't be possible without them. So please join me once again in thanking the Croft staff and our student workers. Last but not least, this is also a moment for us, faculty, staff of the Croft Institute, and graduates, to thank you, the family, the friends of our graduates, for the support you've provided over the last 4 years. We have very high expectations for our students, and we have created a pretty demanding curriculum for them. And we know that it takes a lot of time and energy for them to succeed. For most of the students here today, we know there might have been, probably were, moments when it seemed like they weren't going to make it, and I know that the support of their family and friends was instrumental in getting them here. So graduates and faculty, please join me in thanking our family and friends. Now, after all the well-deserved thank yous, we can turn to the true stars of the ceremony, our graduates who have persevered and excelled during their studies here at the Croft Institute. So let's first give them a round of applause. Okay. Every year, our graduating seniors select one of their peers to give a valediction at this ceremony. This year, they chose Carly England, and I now invite you, Carly, to come to the podium.
Hello and welcome, parents, friends, faculty, staff, and peers. Thank you so much for being here today and for being our often unpaid therapist and support system that got us here today. We are so excited as a class. Today is a day that we hoped would come at some point after 4 years or 5, you know, but usually 4 with this group. We're doing good. And this follows 4 years of discovery, adventure, and dedication to studies, as well as dedication to ourselves and our families going abroad. Graduation speeches all seem to be full of cliched sentiments like live in the moment, and if at first you don't succeed, try again. And my personal favorite, carpe diem, it goes for everything. Full disclosure, the speech is probably going to be no different. Milestones in life, especially this momentous and wonderful, come with sometimes unsolicited advice, that dreaded question of, so what are you doing next? And often excitement for the future, well-deserved excitement for the future. Revel in this phenomena, live in the moment, enjoy today, enjoy next week, and hopefully enjoy the next adventure that your life will have in store for you. This will not always be the case. Life is an ongoing journey. It will not slow down, and as we embark on a new chapter of life full of possibilities, do not forget where you come from and where you have started. This success is surely only one success in a long life of successes in the future for our class. And the plan will change over and over again until we finally end up exactly where we're meant to be. It will likely be a different journey than we plan and expect, and I know from experience this class is full of planners and type A, and those 50 life plans will come together. Maybe they'll be cobbled together like, some theses and all of that. We have come a long way since our freshman retreat, listening to the stories of our predecessors, partaking in trust exercises that I don't think we realized would build upon lifelong friendships that would become our personal support systems through Busculus and thesis defense. These are the things that separate a Croftie from normal students. Also, maybe our propensity to speak in our foreign language with each other when just English would be okay. And our propensity to put CR in front of everything, non-ironically, Crofty, Crom. I don't think we can put CR in front of graduation. These are the friendships that got us through the late night study groups and the Croft porch that was there for game day memories and beyond. These will be the traditions that we pass on to the next generation of Croft students. And hopefully these moments and traditions were more than just motions through your graduation or ending up in graduation, and that they were just moments to cherish and build upon as we move into the future in our lives. Remember your experiences and lessons that you learned abroad. There will be situations, good and bad, that will draw on these experiences, and I'm sure we all have stories to tell. Maybe not some that we can share with our families, but the time spent here at the Croft Institute has been valuable beyond measure. We have each traveled our own path, quite literally traveled. Over 4 years, even though we have made memories and a name for ourselves on our own terms, we all come here together to celebrate today for the same reason and the same goal, getting a BA in International Studies. So carpe diem, enjoy the celebration that comes with accomplishment. Congratulations to the class of 2018.
Thank you, Carly. Okay, before we hand out diplomas, I have the pleasure of recognizing the graduates who've excelled in language learning and presenting awards to those who've written the best senior theses and those who've distinguished themselves in academic achievement and public service. So first, the language awards. Foreign language education is a cornerstone of our curriculum here at the Croft Institute. We have our students study their chosen language every semester that they're in our program, and study abroad, at least for a semester, in a country where that language is spoken. So consequently, we expect our students to achieve a high level of oral proficiency in their language. We have them take the American Council of Teachers of Foreign Language oral proficiency interview to measure that. And as they can tell you, that is actually a 30-minute, maybe a little less, phone call with a speaker of the language in which they discuss current events, narrate in the past, maybe talk about some hypothetical issues, do some role plays, and the students who score the highest on this scale are able to talk about unfamiliar topics and create coherent, well-argued discourses at the paragraph level and beyond. So we'd like to recognize the students whose score on the OPI was higher than the expectations set by the Croft faculty. And so in addition to being recognized now, they will receive a special gift in their diploma. So as I read the names of these seniors, I ask for them to stand, and please hold your applause until they've all been called. So we have Joe Bell in Spanish, who's not with us today, Sydney Green in Arabic, Kay Jarrell in French, Emily Johnston in Arabic, Haley Jones in Chinese, who's also not here today, Alyssa Smith in Chinese, and Henry Stonington in Arabic. And none of these achievements in language would be possible without the faculty of the Department of Modern Languages. Dr. Geoffrey, Dr. Goldblatt, Dr. Quinney are here with us today. So I'd like to thank them for all they do. Now for the prizes. Okay, so the first prize, the winner already knows who he is. The Croft Institute first awarded the Gerald M. Abdallah Prize 8 years ago. It is named for the chairman of the Joseph C. Bancroft Educational and Charitable Fund and the CEO of Croft LLC. The prize recognizes the student who has maintained the highest overall grade point average while completing the International Studies major. In the case of a tie, which happened this year, the prize goes to the student with the most resident graded hours. So this year, the prize was awarded to Henry Stonington, who maintained a perfect GPA, which means he received an A in every class he took. Congratulations, Henry. He gets a medal. So you can reach. We're going to open the medal. There you go. It's always hard with a hat. Congratulations. Okay, next we have the thesis awards. So the senior thesis awards and the Bancroft Award, which we'll do after, are the oldest honors given by the Croft Institute. Each award carries with it a monetary prize, and the winners' names will be added to the plaques that hang outside of the receptionist's office on the 3rd floor of our building. Before we get to the prizes, I want to congratulate you all on finishing your thesis. As you know, I've been watching, sending emails, going back to last year, and I know it's not always an easy process. So, congratulations. Now, we're going to give special recognition to the 4 students who wrote the best theses in each of our 4 regional concentrations, and 1 who wrote the best thesis with a strong social science methodology or which involved more than 1 region. So when I call you the winners' names, I ask for him or her to please come forward, and if the student's mentor and your 3rd reader are present, they would also please be asked to join us for the photo. Hold on.
It's building suspense.
Yes. Somehow my page has gone out of order. Okay. I'm not trying to build suspense. I believe that my printer ran out of paper. I did not realize. However, I know who won all the prizes. Okay. Okay. So we're going to go forward. As you know, perseverance in the face of adversity. So the first piece now, I'm not going to get your titles because I don't have those memorized. I have them written down. The first prize goes to the student who wrote the best thesis on an East Asian topic, and it is Alyssa Smith. right. The next prize goes to the student who wrote the best thesis on a European topic. And this year, it is Andrew Hayes. First, please go. Right here. Get a little closer. All right, here we go. All right. All right. The next thesis prize is for the student who wrote the best thesis on a Latin American topic, and this year goes to Sarah Meeks. Now we have the student who wrote the best thesis on a social science or interregional topic. And this year goes to Allie Gerstor. Next, we have the Tarasawa Prize. This is given to the overall best thesis as determined by our faculty. Don't worry. This year, the winner of the Tarasawa Prize is also the winner of the best thesis on a topic related to the Middle East. And Dr. Katsuai Tarasawa was the Associate Director of the Croft Institute until 2005 and taught International Studies 101 for many years and is a well-known economist. So this year, the winner of the Tarasawa Prize for the best thesis overall goes to Sydney Green. Next, we have the Croft Award for Academic Achievement and Public Service. And pretty sure I can remember most of the outstanding things the student did. So this student has high academic achievement, great grades, but also was a leader in public service on campus. The person was a Croft senator, Croft ambassador, active in the community. But one of the most remarkable things the student did was co-found the Rebels Against Sexual Assault Network, which is an important development in our campus. And through that work, she has also been invited to be on the Vice Chancellor's Student Committee, also on the only undergraduate on the Chancellor's Commission on the Status of Women. So as the students have all figured out, the winner of the Bancroft Award is, again, Sydney Green. Congratulations to all the award winners. Now we can turn to the heart of the ceremony, conferring the diplomas. So, students, when I call your name, please come forward. Dr. Centeas, please come help with the gifts. And start with Weaver, McMillan, Baird. Studied Spanish and studied abroad in Cordoba, Argentina. All right. So we have Natalie Ruth Balkan, studying abroad in Japan at Waseda University. Congratulations. Elena Beers, studied abroad at the Université Catholique du West in Angers, France. We have Caitlin Lee Fox, studied abroad at the International University in Moscow, Russia. Get it. Sydney Elizabeth Brown, studied abroad in Spain at the Universidad de Málaga. We have Abby Bruce, way out of order. Abby Bruce, who studied abroad at the Pontificia Universidad Católica del Perú in Lima, Peru. I jumped to the other citizens. Okay, Madeline Paul Carpenter, who also studied abroad at another Pontificia Universidad Católica, but in Valparaíso in Chile. Please. Harley Brooks, England, studied abroad at the Modern Arabic Language International Center in Amman, Jordan. All right, Matthew Philip Forget, studied abroad at El Tecnológico de Monterrey in Mexico. All right. Natalie Genevieve Galliano, studied abroad at Universidad de Deusto in Bilbao, Spain. Alexandra Marta Gerstor, who is studying in the United States. Congratulations. All right, Sydney Elizabeth Green, who also studied abroad at the Modern Arabic Language International Center in Amman, Jordan. All right, Emily June Harrell, who is going to study abroad at the Universidad Veritas in San Jose, Costa Rica. Congratulations. Andrew Mark Hayes, who studied abroad at the Universidad de Deusto in Bilbao, Spain.
Most important part?
Emily Suzanne Henderson, who studied abroad at the Université Catholique de l'Ouest in Angers, France. All right, Francisco Hernandez, who is studying here in the United States. Congratulations. Tanner Marie Pishta, who studied abroad at the Pontificia Universidad Católica. Kay Malcolm Jarrell, who studied abroad at the Université Catholique de l'Ouest in Angers, France. Right. Emily Lee Johnston. Emily studied abroad at the Modern Arabic Language International Center in Amman, Jordan. Sarah Trainer Meeks studied abroad with the SIT program in Geneva, Switzerland. Congratulations.
Fisher stove right there, behind the back.
Oh, it's up kind of high. There you go. All right. Shelby. Okay, jump, sorry. David Newman, who studied abroad at the Modern Arabic Language International Center in Amman, Jordan. All right, now, Shelby Elizabeth Price studied abroad at the Beijing Foreign Studies University in Beijing, China. Nicholas Scott Senston studied abroad at the Pontificia Universidad Católica de Valparaíso in Valparaíso, Chile. Good job. Next, we have Alexis Lane Smith, who studied abroad at the Universidad Católica Boliviana in La Paz, Bolivia. Congratulations. We have Alyssa Ray Smith, who studied abroad at the CET Harbin program in Harbin, China. Have Brianna Nicole Starnes, who studied abroad at the Université Jean Monnet in Saint Etienne, France. Henry Owen Stonington, who studied abroad at the Modern Arabic Language International Center in Jordan. Congratulations, Henry. Sarah Thornby Stroop, who did a multi-country study abroad through the SIC program. Gabrielle Camden Toppin studied abroad at the Pontificia Universidad Católica de Valparaíso in Valparaíso, Chile. India Noel Trummer, who studied abroad at St. Petersburg University, or St. Petersburg State University in St. Petersburg, Russia. We have Sandra Nicole Turner, who studied abroad at the International University in Moscow in Russia. Congratulations. And Charles Hunter Williams, who studied abroad at the Universität Köln in Cologne, Germany. Congratulations, and please join me in congratulating all. Just about to conclude. But before we do, let me just give a couple of instructions. Students, are going to process out first, the door to the students' right. We go right onto the steps of the porch for our photo. Faculty, you follow the students. You join them for a second photo with the faculty. We'll follow them out. Family, friends, please hold tight for a couple minutes while we get those photos. And then when you leave, just go out those main doors and come out onto the porch that way. So thank you all for being here today. Thank you all for supporting our graduates. Congratulations and good luck. Let me see you. Come around this way. This way. Fall back. This way. All the way around. Come on. This way.